Oh God, this all lights is off. Like this shit dead scary, bro. Oh God, this shit dead scary. Cause I don't really fuck with shit like this. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little scared. Bro, I'm genuinely scared.
What is this about?
Well, to be honest with you, this isn't really about anything. This is about us.
See, bro, that fucking nigga, last night, bro, real shit. I think I got fucking my room got like possessed. Cause like, bro, my headphones started tweaking the fuck out, nigga. The mic was tweaking out, nigga. My PC started tweaking out. My PC never like tweaks out, bro. And it's dark in this bit. See, it was a terrible idea having my fucking room
It's a late night.
behind, like my
Quiet.
fucking. You
The
feel me?
Walton Files blares on your bedroom TV, filling the void of darkness around you. It's peaceful, comfortable even. You scroll through Reddit, searching for something to pass the time.
This shit's so fucking
Out of nowhere,
Lord, please.
a lone post by an Emerald Spring populates your feed. They're searching for something, some sort of lost documentary called The Real Blair Witch.
Fuck no.
There seems to be so little information about this documentary out there, and absolutely nowhere to watch it. I recall it being on TV, and there's one or two references to it out there.
Yeah,
it has nothing to do with the Blair Witch Project, and is more of a true crime documentary. I'd love to see it again, and it's frustrated me for years now, not being able to track
I
it
need
down.
to have like a.
It must be out there.
See,
in
look how
some
better
archive
this would
somewhere,
look if I
but
had
I'm
to.
guessing its lack of
I'm
availability
saying.
kind of makes it lost. At first glance, this seems relatively unassuming. Yet another lost media mystery with hardly a lead to go on. Yet the name, The Real Blair Witch,
I'm such a
shrouds it
baddie.
in this weird tinge of dread. I don't know what it is, but something about the way this is framed, the lack of information, something about
Lord,
this
protect me.
has sparked something. Within their post, Emerald Spring provides a link to its IMDb page, revealing that there's hardly anything to go off of. The page is barren. Just one review, a release year, and director. The only tangible bit of info here is the plot summary. A group of teens from Flint, Michigan film themselves
Flint,
kidnapping
stand
and
up.
terrorizing a new
My
acquaintance
nigga Miles
before
Bridges,
taking her out to the woods,
Kyle
dumping her
Kuzma.
in a shallow grave.
Shit, who else from there?
They then taunt their
Rio.
terrified and blindfolded victim.
Hold
asking
on, just because we heard it, just because Rio, we gotta play. You already know what we gotta play. That's all we gonna play though, because we gotta get
And
into
if
the
she had
video. The
any
video is
last
30 minutes
requests
long, my
before they
nigga.
cut her throat.
And I thought my shit was
But was
connected
the
to the
kidnapped
Bluetooth.
or just
I
a
was
game?
wrong.
What's revealed is an extraordinary and disturbing record of a night when something went terribly, terribly wrong. Well, now you've got my attention.
See, I don't like when it's dark.
With such a graphic, visceral description of such an inhumane crime, curiosity in this case took off on Reddit. Comment after comment poured in, expressing interest in tracking this footage down. Most believed in its existence, others not so much. Regardless, though, the common theme here was intrigue. The Blair Witch Project, back when it came out, was horrifying and the implications
yeah.
of someone recreating this
That shit was
in real
scary
life
as hell.
to torment a very real person sounds like it's straight out of a nightmare. What in the world did Emerald Spring watch back then? What truly is this?
Oh god, that shit.
Over the following weeks, whispers about the dock's existence would trickle in. Mentions in online articles. A trailer on a production company called Raw TV's own Vimeo page. But what really sent this mystery into the stratosphere was nearly an entire year later when a Redditor named Transbian8787 would chime in with the revelation that no one saw coming.
Oh, he has it?
The real Blair Witch, as it turned out, was very real. However, once Pandora's box was opened and the internet began to sink their collective teeth into it, it was realized that this story is much, much stranger than anyone had imagined. The real Blair Witch isn't just a film. It's a glance into one of the eeriest, most bizarre incidents that I have ever read about, ensnaring nearly everyone involved.
So this is like... Nigga, I'm scared.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the event of an emergency, please walk to the nearest exit. Thank you.
I'm putting a hoodie on, it's kind of cold.
When the Blair Witch Project hit theaters in 1999, it didn't just scare audiences, it changed the horror genre. More than just a film, it became a psychological experiment that made people question what was real and what wasn't. The setup was simple. 3 young filmmakers set out to document an old urban legend, only to vanish without a trace. What remained was the footage they left behind. But unlike traditional horror films, this story had no scripted feel, no heart-stopping jump scares, just raw, unfiltered horror.
I refuse to watch the movie.
The shaky camera work, improvised dialogue, and eerie silence between panicked breaths all made it feel as if it were set in reality. And that was exactly the point.
Scary, bro.
The movie, as you'd expect, became an overnight sensation, shattering records and opening the door to a completely fresh, realistic, and raw form of terror. However, its impact stretched well beyond the film industry. Suddenly, horror fans, amateur filmmakers, and thrill seekers were heading into abandoned locations and recording eerie footage. And the internet soon became a breeding ground for low-resolution videos, claiming to document real paranormal encounters. Some were easily debunked, others less so. And that's where things began to take a strange turn. Because when an entire generation starts to believe that some of the most terrifying things can be caught on a simple high-8 tape, it's only a matter of time before someone tries to prove it. Alright guys, before we continue, I'd like to tell you about tonight's video sponsor, NordVPN. Alright, so lately I've been traveling quite a bit for my ghost hunting channel, Nick and Ryan. And with this, I've been... February
No
2002.
free advertisement, Bubba.
It's a frigid night
Bro,
in the
this shit
town
is
of Flint,
fucking
Michigan. And a
mad
19-year-old
scary, bro.
named Danielle Taylor crosses paths with a 20-year-old Travis Payne.
Never trust a nigga with a thick neck, bro.
Making horror films.
I'm telling you.
Paya shared a house with a man named John Cockrell, another student and self-proclaimed horror fanatic. Their house, it was the spot per se, the hangout for their tight-knit circle, which included a James Carwile, Christina Lum, and Derek Faxlinger. At first, everything seemed mundane within their friend group. Danielle would visit the house a handful of times, and nothing seemed all that out of the ordinary. Just a few weeks later, on the night of March 6th, however, their entire dynamic would, out of nowhere, take a dark turn. By complete surprise, Danielle was restrained, blindfolded, handcuffed, and threatened.
Damn, they
with
did my
murder.
bit. They did my bit,
All
Derek.
of it filmed on a single high-8 tape.
Say hello.
Hi.
Okay, I have a question for you.
The video opens inside a dimly lit house,
Bro, I
bathed
couldn't
in
do
the
it,
eerie
bro.
green glow that can only be provided
That nigga would
by
get
an
his head
old-school
beat in, I
night
swear to
vision
God.
camera.
I turn
Danielle
around like
stands front
this,
and center,
hit this
seeming a
nigga
bit
with the
annoyed
meat.
that she's being
Just like
filmed.
that, boy.
Behind the camera is Travis Paya, his voice steady as he asks her a strange question. What would you say if you knew this was your last day on Earth? Danielle smirks, brushing off the question with a simple, fuck you. There's a heavy undercurrent of something else, though. Something unspoken. A shadow moves behind her. One of the men steps forward, revealing something in his hands. A blindfold, maybe a gag, and the mood shifts. Travis prompts Danielle again, this time instructing to say ready, set, go. Sensing something is off, she refuses. Someone's behind her. Something is up here. She turns. Yet before she can react, multiple hands grab at her. She barely has time to respond before she's wrestled to the ground. She fights briefly, but it doesn't take long for her to realize she isn't getting away. Whatever this is, it's happening.
That's why you carry a gun
This
on you
ain't
20
guns.
unless you're under 21 and it's illegal.
We find ourselves in a car. The lighting is bad. Again, night vision. Danielle sits in the back seat, blindfolded.
Bro, y'all really got my bitch fucked up, bro.
She's stiff, her face only showing fear. Christina Lum, the only other woman to appear in the video, is driving. She doesn't say much, just keeps her eyes on the road.
Yo, I'm tripping.
First, the guys verbally taunt her, but there's this edge to it. And then we see it. One of them, Jonathan Cockrell, has a knife, and it's pressed right up against her. They start asking her questions. Did you have a good life? Say your last words to your family.
Yo, what?
If you could go back in time and change anything, would you? Danielle hesitates. She tells her mom she loves her. She says she's sorry for everything. She tells those in the car with her that she has nothing to say to them. Nothing she says will be right anyway. No one reassures her. No one tells her it's okay. And the video cuts again. Deep in the heart of the forest, the camera follows as James carries Danielle over his shoulder. The group moves with a sense of purpose,
what the
heading straight for a
fuck?
spot they've already prepared.
Nah, they got my bitch mixed up. And they in the snow, bro. I'd be mad as hell if I was getting kidnapped in the snow.
Deep. They set her down before explaining what's coming next. They're going to cut her before burying her alive and leaving her to die. Travis
Low-key
stands
kinda
over the
fucked up.
pit, knife in hand. The blindfold that had been covering Danielle's eyes is pulled down around her neck, and she doesn't say a word.
I appreciate the follow, twin.
Following this, Travis kneels down,
Appreciate the follow.
brings the blade right up to her, and then nothing. He never actually cuts her. He mimes the act of slashing Danielle's throat before she goes completely limp and pretends to be dead.
Congratulations, you're dead. Welcome to the afterlife.
Just like that, the entire mood shifts. The group starts laughing, giving each other pats on the back over what they had just done. One by one, they turn to the camera, introducing themselves, explaining their roles in this so-called film. They even take bows, grinning the entire time. Daniel Taylor, as it turned out, wouldn't die that night.
Oh God, I'd be so
Contrary to the
mad.
knife being held to her throat, contrary to her being tied up against her
I
will,
swear to God, I'd be so
contrary
mad.
to her being thrown
I'd be every single one of their
haphazardly
asses
into a
on me, bro.
massive hole in the ground. This
God
was
himself would have
nothing
to
but a
stop
stunt.
me.
A prank for
Which
a
wouldn't be
movie.
no problem for him, but like, you get what I'm
Funny,
saying.
right?
Shout out God, man.
Halting the recording, The group unties her, harping on just how realistic, how entertaining her reaction was. Surely, this will seem visceral enough to make it to film. This was their big break, their escape from Flint, Michigan, after all.
Flint, Michigan has a water problem still, don't they?
For Danielle, though, she was far from fine. Just a few minutes before, she thought she was dying. She had nothing to laugh about here because the entire joke was solely on her.
I can't remember his name. Danielle.
So far, it's been easy to follow Danielle's state of mind throughout this. A woman trapped by those she trusted, a victim of an inhumane prank.
Yeah, that is kind of fucked up. I can't lie.
However, that's where our
fucked
central
up.
problem begins. Because was this all nothing but a sick joke? That is the question that soon becomes the heart of this entire incident. And the answer depends on who you believe.
What you mean? Is that the end of the video? Creepy ass shit again, bro.
It looks like an ordinary day in the USA, but in the city of Flint, Michigan, all is excitement. Even the small fry are buzzing.
I'm gonna be scared to go to the fucking bathroom down the hallway
And
now,
the
bro.
older boys
Like,
and girls
damn.
let out of school. Oh, this is a day. The whole town's a bustle. Yes, sirree, there's going to be a parade, too. And what's a parade without festive bunting and gala decorations?
The city of Flint, Michigan is undoubtedly one of desolation. It's a place once bustling, lively, full of opportunity. Yet today, it stands as nothing but a shell of what it once was.
Yo.
When the automotive industry backed away, it left a void of broken dreams, families with shattered aspirations. It's depressing that something like this can actually happen to those who had no hand in the matter at all. Like we established, the Blair Witch Project shattered the world, sending audiences into a frenzy and
Scary ass
inspiring
movie,
loads
bro.
of
On
those
me.
with nothing but a camera to create something horrifying of their very own.
Fucking.
The entire group
I refuse to
maintains
watch
that
it.
they all had hopes, dreams to get out of Flint and to make something of themselves.
Bros,
And
even-
while they could have chosen
Hold on,
a
my shit
myriad
ain't
of ways
full.
to do that, the film industry,
Nigga.
for
Stephen King. The nigga that made The Shining, Children of the Corn, all that shit. Bro, he said that was the scariest movie he ever watched. He made it, and bro, you like, that's a scary ass movie. If you got the king of horror to say some shit like that, bro, nigga, like, on God, you have that's how you know you have a scary movie, bro. Like, bro.
once in
'Cause
its
niggas really thought that bitch was
century-long
real.
history, felt like something attainable, a vehicle to a completely new life.
Duh. Nigga, it is what it is. 3 days later, they did kill her. It was like a practice run, though.
In the following days, Danielle Taylor, reeling from the incident on March 6th, would revisit the Paya home. It was done on invitation, a night for all of them to rewatch their masterpiece. Yet for Danielle, she had other plans.
If you scream and you fight, we put a gag in your mouth and throw you in the trunk. If you relax and accept death and what's coming to you,
That's
After
so
the tape
fucked
ran its course,
up.
She secretly swiped it, replaced it with another, and after the events of that night had wound down, she set out to report the entire group to law enforcement.
Hey, I can't lie,
Within a
though.
week, the lives of Jonathan Cockrell, Travis Paya, Christina Lum, James Carwile, and Derek Vaxlinger, everyone involved in perpetrating this stunt, would change. They were all arrested, finding themselves awaiting trial on kidnapping and assault charges, and facing anywhere
that's-
from 7 years to life in prison
That's,
under
yeah,
Michigan
they're
law.
cooked.
Contrary to their claims of simply aspiring to create a horror movie, Danielle Taylor maintained that she had no idea about any of this. To her, this was all very real.
I mean,
And given our glance at the footage, it's easy to empathize with her. Interestingly though, support for her wouldn't be unanimous, as once testimonies came out and the footage was given a second look, cracks in the facade.
But they did kidnap her, no?
Danielle, at numerous points throughout the footage, does things that make no sense. She scratches her nose. She inquires on if the rope is tight enough. And just minutes after she supposedly thought she was dying, she can be seen laughing alongside the
So
group.
she knew?
I survived, and I'm freezing and my arms hurt.
If you move anymore, I swear to God, I'm using a blade to do this. Alright?
A bizarre reaction, especially considering the circumstances. Even still, a Lapeer County prosecutor named Brian Concha spoke to the media on Danielle's behalf, maintaining his belief that she did not know that any of it was staged until the end. The prank was intended by the participants, but the last party, the victim, was not in on it. Conversely, attorneys representing the accused said the tape shows that Danielle, in fact, did know that it was a movie, citing the fact that she never begged the group not to kill her, appeared to smile after the gig was up, and had not once told them to stop.
I don't even know whose
She
side to
pretends
be
play
on.
dead for about a minute. One said, if she truly thought she was going to be buried alive, she would have struggled.
So
As
she's
we
trying
can
to.
see, all we have here is a he said, she said situation. No one here
No
ever knew the
contest.
answer on if she were acting in this stunt. Not the prosecutors, not their lawyers, no one but Danielle Taylor.
No contest. That's the thing, right? In court. No contest.
In the midst of an intense legal battle, Christina Lum had turned on her group of friends, accepting a plea bargain on a reduced charge of attempted felonious assault, and received a suspended 6-month sentence pending the completion of probation. Derek Faxlinger was ordered to pay a $200 fine. Jimmy Carwile received a 4-month sentence, while Peya and Cockrell got 8 months. All suspended sentences following the completion of probation.
Okay.
All of them inevitably served their time and got out. However, in the end, another affliction entirely would befall them.
They probably actually killed that bitch. For real. She fucked up their lives. If she knew. If she didn't know, then she's lucky not wrong for doing that. But like, she's not also in the right to fuck up their lives if they was really friends.
Travis Peya, the group's ringleader, passed away on Tuesday, April 18th, 2006. Derek Faxlinger passed away on Monday, February 12th, 2007. And Jonathan Cockrell lost his life on Wednesday, February 19th of 2014. All of them were less than 35 years old.
It's like hella young, isn't it? Or am I tripping?
Almost like a curse. 3 of the 4 men involved in the real Blair Witch incident had died before their lives could even get off the ground, and any information surrounding them, barren. All that seemed to exist was hearsay, notably on the website My Death Space, in which Travis Peya's cause of death was speculated to have been caused by drug use. Furthermore, mentions of Derek Faxlinger come up in reference to an MLive article, which states that he passed away from an epileptic seizure and had his organs donated to those in need.
Okay, W-Man's RP
though,
his soul.
Nothing definitive on whether this came from the fallout of the real Blair Witch ever came up. Onlookers then were just as conflicted, just as confused as all of us today.
Gotta make sure.
For a while, it seemed like this was the end to the real Blair Witch saga. A lost media legend turned criminal battle that resulted in the loss of 3 lives. However, an entire year after the original Reddit post was made, a user named Beef Brothel emerged out of seemingly nowhere shedding light on the deaths of their supposed friends. Derek, John, and Trav have all passed away. Derek had a seizure in the shower and sadly passed from that. His organs were donated and saved quite a few people. He was an extremely kind person and gave great hugs. Travis had a terrible tooth infection, and I'm not sure if that was the cause, but it was a contributing factor in his death. John was depressed. I can't deny that. His mother died and they were quite close, so his partying ramped up during the period after her passing. Another friend was with him that night. They were celebrating his new apartment, and it was simply an accidental overdose. He was one of my best friends, and I'm still angry at him for being so careless, especially because things were moving in such a positive direction for him. None of their deaths were because of the pressure of the case. Jim and I still talk occasionally, but he moved to another state and lives a private life.
So,
he's a good man, and I think he was affected the most by this situation. The girl apologized to them after the fact and insisted that she never wanted any of this to happen. She was known to her graduating class as a notorious
white bitches, bro. I'm telling
before
y'all.
any of this ever happened. So there's that. Plus, she was young and was being told by a lot of authority figures that she had to go along with this prosecution. She claimed after the fact that she believed taking the video from the house would prove that it was just a joke and everyone would just get off the hook. She didn't realize that John was pausing the recording between shots. Part of me thinks she initially enjoyed the initial attention, but it spiraled way out of control. If I didn't know, these guys participated in these types of pranks on all of our friends weekly, made a dozen backyard horror films with them.
So this is the
spent
other
all of
girl
my free
that's
time
saying
with
all
them
this?
for years.
Or
I would
blogged
think
this?
they were psychos too. That's just not the case. Jackass and Blair Witch were huge at this time, so it was kind of a mashup of the two genres to them. We all knew that if you went to Rancho, you could get pranked. It's just how things were. They did almost the exact thing to another friend a week or two before, and she was the one who suggested that they film it next time.
cooked.
Unfortunate. This was a devastating time for our group of friends, their families, and their loved ones. Visiting them in jail was bonkers. I'll never forget how sad they all looked and how many people came to see them. Everyone knew that they did not do this maliciously, except the prosecutor, and he was a real asshole. Long story short, it was a prank, and everyone except the law knew that.
DDG, I still hate you, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that in there.
Say hello.
Hi.
Okay, I have a question for you. You just said hi. But if you had one thing to say, if this was your last day on Earth, what would it be? Why fuck
The real Blair Witch incident is a bizarre, unsettling chapter in the history of lost media. A
Yeah.
story that serves as both a reflection of our deepest fears and a reminder of the human capacity for cruelty. How far would you go for a chance to escape a place in which you have no future? Was Danielle in on things, or was she truly terrified for her life that night? I've always said that lost media, by nature, carries this enduring sense of mystery, and in my opinion, this one is no different. It is, and always will be, eerie, a look into the lives of intensely conflicted individuals. But if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's that we may likely never, ever get our hands on the full original tape in its entirety. The story of Danielle Taylor will forever live on through the lens of news reports and documentaries. And in its wake, an unsolvable question. Did she truly know? Perhaps we never will. A lost media mystery that may never
I
find
think she did.
a resolution.
I think she did. That shit was fucking crazy. Bro, I feel bad. RP to those souls lost, man. For real.